Welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast. Today is an episode number 26, and I invite you to the journey of discovering the true truth about twin flames, about how the journey is about, and what is this journey. I'm going to tell you something right before we're going to dive into that if you are looking into twin flames, such as with your mind and trying to control the outcome with the mind, then I'm here to tell you that twin flame journey has nothing to do with the mind. It's all about the soul's journey. It's all about the growth. It's all about the self-love and surrender into divine and into the union. Union does not necessarily mean that you are in a union with your twin flame physically. Union is something way bigger and way more beautiful. I've devoted my podcast and my social media channels to give you the information about twin flames and the union as it's actually supposed to be. And I think today's episode is going to be a little bit, how do I say, not your favorite, because I'm going to tell you certain things that might go in a conflict with your understanding of the union today. And I totally understand this. But I also feel that since I was chosen to this twin flame journey, and I met my twin flame that changed my life completely, I feel it's my moral work, my soul work today to share with you what this twin flame journey is actually about, that the fact that the union just with your twin flame is not the only outcome out of it. And to be honest, I don't even think now, after seeing this journey, that twin flame union is only physical. But this union is out here already. If any of you who are going through the dark night of the soul, the pain and everything, you are actually in a union with your twin flame already. Now, and that comes from your mind, because you're thinking, but how come I am in a union with my twin flame if we are not together, if he or she is not messaging back to me? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to your mind. I remember I have one first blog post written about it, that twin flame journey, the biggest fight between your soul and the mind. And here is exactly what happens during this new self of yours, or actually the true self of yours. The moment you met your twin flame, you felt something you have never felt before. You felt unconditional love to the stranger you never met before. You felt something that was you couldn't explain. Your mind couldn't put it together. What is happening to you? How come you are attracted or obsessed about the person you just met? You don't know anything about them, or even if you do, what is this thing? Why I have never experienced something like this before in my lifetime? And why I keep on going back, why I keep on falling into this, and why I can't sleep, why I can't eat, what is happening to me? Because these questions are our mind questions. We're trying to solve this problem with the mind. But I'm here to tell you that you solve nothing with the mind here. Mind is a tool for us to live in a 3D world. In a 3D world where, yes, we wake up, we make a breakfast, we know how to make it, we brush our teeth, we do all of this that our mind predicts us to do, because our mind is developed over the time like that. I just bring an example to clarify this a little better. Is like when you are a child, you start seeing certain patterns, what your parents are doing, and you learn from them. That's all from your mind. But if you see children, when they all of a sudden start dancing or they're doing something out of their mind, that's their soul. So, like I say, twin flame journey has nothing to do with the mind. Pretty much zero. And I know I've been there where I'm completely obsessed. I can only watch my WhatsApp and wonder when my twin flame could come back to me. And why I'm not hearing from my twin flame? Why is it so freaking painful for me to be obsessed about someone who I don't even know? And at the same time, everything in my life starts to fall apart. Or now I don't no longer say it's falling apart, because it actually had to be removed in order for me to grow and in order for me to have this podcast today. But I did not see that back then. And many of you have listened me on my podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I'm more than happy to have you here today. That I was a complete workaholic. Like, a work was all of my life. I could not understand how a person cannot work. How can you lie on a beach, do nothing? Like, how? Thankfully for my twin flame and this journey, I've learned how to also sometimes just lie down and do nothing. But this is like, how do I say? It's a big transformation journey. And if you're wondering why is it so painful, it's because your mind has has everything inside of your body, inside of your nervous system, inside of everything. So that's why now the chakras are opening. The love energy is inside of you, coming inside of you, because you felt the divine love. The divine love that is going to completely change your life forever. So if you are new here, or if you've been here before already, thank you so much for coming back. But if you're new here, I'd like you to have an as open mind as possible in this journey. Open mind is that when I share certain things, that it can sound absolutely incredibly crazy, like, what is this about? Why am I feeling this way? Why are you saying that the union is not like this? And so on. There is a story, there is a soul world, and there is so much more. So, what we got, I'm right before we're going to dive into all the details, I'm just going to say certain things. Many of you heard that it's a podcast episode number 26. And this is the episode of 26 because I know many of you might have heard that, but last one was a 26. Don't you know how to count the numbers? It's actually not about that. The previous episode, unfortunately, has been deleted from both on Spotify and on YouTube due to the fact that our dear beautiful soul who shared the story with us felt that she was way too exposed based on the fact that there was a I mentioned the twin flame name, which I didn't think of back at the time. I normally, like I said, I would never say the names, but actually I have one little thing, and there is no one's fault here. And it's like, I would say that I really wish that any of you would never feel that you do something wrong in life. It's all about learning, it's all about experience, and it's all about surrendering, all about being in this moment. When you share the story with me, I always, like in the beginning, I don't want to exactly say it's a twin flame, and there is a bit of a reason, because I've read a couple of stories which I actually haven't put on my podcast yet, but I just feel they are not exactly the twin flame journey, or a person hasn't been able to express as well. And the reason why when I have the consultation calls with my clients, it's normally about 45 minutes, where I start feeling if the soul has the same soul energy. And I need to understand the numbers, I need to understand the whole element, and then I can say, yes, high likely it is a twin flame, or I think we need to look into more of that and understand it better. Again, there is no right and wrong, and I am not this, like I say, I am very ego-based, but what I mean is, like, for me, every love story, everything that made you to become a better person, I think it's worth of sharing, but I cannot always say it's a twin flame 100%. The reason is that sometimes we confuse our soulmates, our people who give us the lesson in the lifetime, and we can confuse them. And that's, again, it's nothing wrong there. Twin flame is your catalyst for your spiritual awakening. That's the first number one thing. Twin flame is the catalyst for your spiritual awakening, for your spiritual connection, and also divine love. But now this divine love is not coming from your twin flame, it's coming inside of your. So when I read the stories, I normally try to say the other half or the soul, or when we have a name, I mention the name. This time, our beautiful soul felt really exposed and I had to delete it. I have now made the guidelines, which I will tell at the end of the podcast episode, how to send me the story in order to get the most out of my channeling, my healing, my understanding, the visions I get it, everything like that. So I think this will make more sense for all of you who wish to share their story. So if you wish to share your story with me, it's twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. Every single information is at the link in bio. I'll speak about the guidelines at the end of the podcast, and I will put them in the description as well, in order for you, when you're going to write me the story, to feel that it makes more sense to you, and it makes more sense to me. I hope, because here, we are here to learn, we are here to grow, and normally making one episode takes me about 2 days. So I just wish that we can all go with the flow and share that energy and share that information as much as possible. As my soul's purpose here on earth at the moment is really bring out your voice, bring out your journey, and heal you and channel you to the place where you're supposed to be. That's why I think that today's episode is going to be a little bit harsh, and truth is sometimes a little bit painful, but what can we do? I mean, we need to know and we need to understand that, okay, I'm here to change, I'm here to become a love, I'm here to be me as my soul and serve the mission. So I start with the number one thing, and many of you have asked me so many times, how do I know it's my real twin flame? So there's this kind of a pattern. Again, I can say that there are times and places where the pattern is not exactly the same. So we have to understand, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, you have to have as open mind as possible. The more open-minded you are, the more you trust the journey, the more one you become, the easier it comes to you. And I think if you share your story, if you have a consultation call with me, whatever, or join our group calls on Patreon, the more you start to feeling better or understanding. So let's go. So the number one thing is, right before you're going to meet your twin flame, you have at least certain way of understanding the spirituality. Like either you have felt the calling of spiritual world. Like for me, I mean, I've said always, I have been spiritual all my life. I believe in certain things. I have not been religious by the religions what we have today, but I have been very spiritual. But right before I met my twin flame, I did my Akashic records and soul realignment, where my soul realigned with my purpose. There was a 21 days exercise. If any of you are interested of this as well, to understand and get the clarity, I'm more than happy to provide you the information or put it out there. So I did my soul realignment. I felt extremely good. I felt like everything is moving into my life like within a fingertip. I felt like I am in charge of the life, and I felt my soul very deeply. For some others, it can be that you start seeing, of course, 1111, or you feel like you've been meeting some people who start telling you about something spiritual, or ask you to read some spiritual book, or you feel this more connection with your soul that you need to get and understand the information. So the number one thing is that you have at least the basic ground of spirituality. I do not believe that the universe will choose you to find your twin flame or have a connection with your twin flame out of a blue that you have never had any connection with spirituality, and now you meet your twin flame. I'm just gonna say that one thing here is that sometimes you can meet your twin flame way before, and they literally know, but you are not awakened one, and so you have no idea. So this journey is not always black and white, and that's why I think sharing other stories, understanding the depths of it, is very helpful. So now here was the number one thing, like I said, that you have some spiritual connection. The next thing is, that means you have started your spiritual path. The next thing is that out of a blue, one day, just completely out of a blue, one day, you meet this person and you have no idea, you have no interest in this person, you have it's not like you, how do I say? Nowadays, many of us have made a picture of how my loved one would look like, or how I will meet my loved one. For example, you're going on a dating apps, you're going to the nightclubs, bars, whatever. I can say that after speaking so many of us, about 90% of the women and men included. And now I'm going to tell something right after this, so don't get angry about me, are married or are in a relationship, and they just don't understand how come I'm in a nice relationship, everything is great, or if it wasn't even great, how come I'm now completely obsessed about the person that made me feel like so loved, literally gave me the energy I never felt before in my lifetime. And this is way beyond like when you met your husband, or when you met your partner, or when you had anything in this life. So that's the second thing, that you really meet them, not planning on meeting them at all. Like it comes so strangely to you that you are really like, when you start having this understanding, you are like, how come I am obsessed, or I really, really, really like this person? I know nothing about how, or very bare minimum. And that's why I say this is like the strongest indicator that you met someone who is not often your type, you met them accidentally, changes your perspective of everything you know until today. Your life transforms from there on, and you're obsessed about the person you barely know. Sometimes you meet them 1-2 times and you are like, what is this thing? But this obsession is not like, let's say, how do I say, obsessed about some music or some movies or some actors, or I don't know, some people are. I'm just bringing it up. This obsession is just this energy. You are missing that energy. You don't even actually miss that much of that person. You miss this energy, what you first had together, because that was so divine and that was so pure that you were like, what is this thing? My body is on fire. I'm smiling like I never smiled in my life before. I can't sleep. I don't know what is happening to me. Again, a lot of people can say, yes, that's the true love. That's how you feel when you first fall in love. I've been in love. I love my husband dearly. But I never felt what I felt from there, and the journey that started from there. So that's why for me, of saying that twin flame union is only physical union, and I've spoken to many. I will try to put them on my TikTok link, on the YouTube and Spotify link as well. The girls I think are speaking truth in terms of twin flames and union. We all know Kurt, All Star World, is talking the same. That is way beyond physical union. And my mission here is also to speak about that it's way beyond the physical. And I wish you to understand. The moment you understand that it's not about being with your twin flame, the magic will start to happen. And you can call me crazy here, because I know when I've heard that, or would have heard this story a year ago, I would have said, yeah, great story, but I want to be with my twin flame. I miss my twin flame. Why did he run away? What was the wrong? What did I do wrong? Am I too much? I don't know how to be. Maybe I should say something. Maybe I shouldn't say something. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I didn't know what is happening in my life. And I know I've been there. But I'm here also where I see this absolutely differently. Where I see this as the true catalyst of my spiritual world, of the spiritual work I have to do here. I have to bring the love and light. We need this. This is collective time to bring love. But we can't bring love into the world when we don't love it ourselves. When we don't have the feeling inside of that I am the love and I can heal and I can give it out there. So it's very much needed. And now your twin flame came to your life to tell you who you are and what you're supposed to do. So twin flames are really about, like, how do I say? It's like, that's why it's called flame, because it's like you're putting the fire and now you need to grow. You need to keep that fire going. If you're sitting there today and all you could think about it and you're not making any changes in your life by thinking, I'll be only happy if my twin flame comes back. I'll be only doing this if my twin flame comes back. I will go out there if my twin flame is there. I want to feel this. I want to need this. I need. The universe will look at you and just ask you why you are not starting today, why you are not doing what you're supposed to do, and why you don't love yourself, your true self, your soul self. Why? Why you are so afraid of the love? Why you're so afraid of being yourself? Why? The other reason also why I'm so, how do I say, today a little bit, I think you can feel a little bit like aggressive in a way of talking about it. And actually I'm not aggressive or anything like that, but I just want that those who are listening to me, that you get this understanding that once you become one with yourself, once you become the love, the divine love, everything that you desire, everything that you believe in, everything that is part of you will come to you like with the fingertips. And I'm not kidding here. I had another beautiful listener. She's she's one of the one who has been very from the beginning, always liking, always commenting, always there. Like a true self. And we had, I think, 2 calls together, like 2 + 3, because people are asking me how many consultation calls I normally need. And I'm saying, like, sometimes even just the one, and your life is completely going to change. But that means you do the work as well. If I ask you to do something, and I'm going to tell you something what is also different from my side. I am not going to tell you something based on, how do I say, that, okay, do this, let's see. I get the message from the guides, from the spirit guides who are telling me, tell her that, let her do this, let's see what's going to happen. Or tell him that, let's see. And if the person does the work, we see the results immediately. And why I'm talking about her, that I've spoken a lot about timeline shifts. I'm talking about how can you change your reality within a minute, actually. You can go back and forth. And I know if somebody would have told me this year ago, I would have said, yeah, great story, but I don't believe any of that. Now the science is coming up already that we can live, for example, the same simultaneous realities. It's just a difference. There was even a test made in Geneva, Switzerland, in CERN, where they were putting out like there was a ball, I think, that was moving, and the same ball was moving on the other side of the city at the same time. But they were in different places, different atmosphere, different everything. It was very interesting. I tried to dive into more of that information. But why I'm talking about it is that when you become love, when you do the work, meditation, breath work, again, previous client of mine was saying also, do not pressure them more in order to make the breath work. Yes, breath work, extremely powerful to release, to understand, to become one with yourself, with the love. I'm doing my course for this in order to become a breathwork instructor, that we could do it all together and you could really feel the difference in our live sessions or anything like that. I truly believe that if you become one with yourself, you are one with the union, and there where your life starts to shift. And then where you can have your twin flame coming back to you. But I've been jumping from one thing to another, but I had this, someone on Instagram who, this is a couple who believes that they are twin flames, and they are now together, and I think they are doing twin flame coaching too, or something like this. But for me, it was this, and again, I am extremely open-minded. I'm extremely open-minded for everything. Even if people would tell me certain things, I'm not going to discredit them for something. I'm like, okay, interesting information. I haven't experienced this. Let's put it out there, because if we're going to have one day proof of that, we can say, listen, that was the reality. Certain things right now, especially based on our science, are not yet there. So especially, like, if we talk about the science in that terms, we still don't know the reason of the dreams. I watched a lot of near-death experiences. Like, is it the brain? Is it really that we're going out of our body? Are we having, like, our soul continues to live? All of these things, we don't have answer yet. So in order to tell that certain things are not right or wrong, I disagree with that. But why I'm talking about this today, there was this couple, who are twin flame couple, and I think they were asking a question, like the woman was asking from the man, who are supposedly twin flames, that why you're having telepathic sex with your twin flame, is that possible? And then this man replied pretty much like, oh, why to have telepathic sex if you can have physical sex? Why do you even start with this telepathic? Why is it necessary? And that just made me to wonder for a minute that if you are really twin flame, you understand that the sex or the intimacy, what you're having with your twin flame, is not physical. It's sexual energy. So yes, you can have intimacy with your twin flame. I'm not saying that you cannot have, but this is not the main goal. The main goal is to understand the energy that is going to heal your body, that's going to open up your chakras, that's going to make every single piece of your body awaken. Sexual energy is very healing energy. So if I had another client who just wrote to me another day, said that I never really felt that I want to touch myself. And now again, if I say touch myself, somebody would think that like sexual way of touching yourself. No, I mean touching your hands, touching your neck, breast, your back, your knees even, all these kind of things. And you will feel the energy inside of your body, how it starts to heal. Why do we go to massage? And now you would ask me like, why I'm comparing sexual energy with a massage. Well, we can't do the massage just with how do I say, by watching it or thinking, oh, I'm having a massage now. Same is with sexual energy. It has to be released somehow. So there are very powerful is tantric energies and all of that. So that's very different what we think of the sexuality, of the intimacy. And then when I heard that, it made me just, for a minute, I was like, that's not what twin flames should say to each other. And again, I'm not here to say what somebody should say or shouldn't say. I'm very open-minded, like I said. I might have something to learn from here. But that sounded very like, oh, the only way of feeling this is when you're having the physical intimacy. Which for me was like, twin flames are energy. Everything is energy. Every single thing is an energy. And whether you like it or not, it's energy based. That's why why I'm a big advocate of talking about telepathic communication, why I'm talking about chakra opening, why I'm talking about being in the present now and doing what you're supposed to do and to become your higher self. I don't just see that it's a romantic relationship only. And again, you can agree and disagree. I think it's an open world where we can talk about it. I just share what I've heard from my clients, what I heard from myself, what I have experienced. Because when last time somebody asked me, how long is this separation and how long I'm going to feel this crappy as I'm feeling today, then I was like, listen, I was 3 months. It was 3 months. I barely survived. I don't know how I survived, but I did. And back then, I didn't speak to anyone about it. I thought this is not real. I was so, like, how do I say, trying to control this with a mind that this is not real. Although I kept on going back to the Kurt, I can't say his name properly, the New World All-Star guy, Kurt. Everything made sense to me, but I kept on hearing him more and more about the fact that you have to let go with your mind. You have to let go with the mind. And honestly, the moment I finished the Power of Now, I reread again The Alchemist, because The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho is my Bible. And I had another girl's book, You're Not Dying, You're Just Waking Up. And when I finished them, I kind of got this inner peace, and I felt like, and like some random things started to make me really happy, like walking on the street and just like being in my own bubble. It was a bit weird moment, but I kind of had no fear, no longer of the future or no longer of what's the outcome. I just got up every day and just was like, I'm alive. I'm simply alive. So, and now I see this, that I'm living in a moment. I'm not living what will come in 10 years or in 5 years or in 2 days. I just accept what comes today, and I have to accept it. Whether I like it or not, there is a lesson to learn. So from here on, so here is to understand that and so again, I can say that if you can become with this, what I'm providing you, and the information I'm giving you, and the channeling, and the chakra opening, the healing, the understanding. And I had a comment another day about where a woman said, or doesn't matter, woman, man, what, I don't know, said to me that, oh, but Kurt is saying not about healing, it's about being in a present moment and all of that. I don't think that, and again, everybody can leave their comments and talk about it. I don't believe that what he's saying is that not to heal. What he's saying is that if you heal in order to get your twin flame back, it's not going to work because you're controlling with the mind. You're like, okay, I'll do this one, I'll do that one. If I do this, my twin flame comes back. If I do this, my twin flame comes back. If I do this, my twin flame comes back to me. But it's not going to happen this way. Universe is so much smarter, and it will give you the lessons. What means is when you start speaking from your heart, from your soul, when you start doing what from your heart and from your soul, when you surrender. And here I'm gonna, right before we're gonna get into the surrender and the stage of union, I'm going to tell you the third thing that is very common in twin flames, and that's the one where they run away. Now, we could say that, oh, but why did I meet my twin flame that in order for them to run away when we had everything together and it was just like so amazing? And now we are no longer together and has triggered everything. That's the moment you realize you are in something so much bigger than just a love story. And it will take you time. How do I say? It will take you time to let go of your old self. So in order to connect with yourself, in order to connect with your soul, you need to let go of the old one. And that's where starts the pain. Because the old self starts to leave step by step. It doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to go at all. But it comes because you have love energy now. If you met the love. You know, like if we see people who are very first time in love, how nothing bothers them, how they feel like everything is good. Another thing is, when we believe that we are in a separation, we are not in separations actually. We share the same consciousness. Consciousness is soul, whichever way you want to say. So we are two different sides, divine feminine and divine masculine, like two polarities, and they come into the union. And when you come into union with your partner, so it's so impactful for your life that you don't know what is happening. I previously spoke about that when you're married or when you are in a relationship. And here, I forgot to tell this before, but I'm going to say it. Many of you can say, and I'm making an episode about it. Many of you can say that, well, listen, it's there, you don't, you don't respect the marriage just because you met somebody and you're going to leave your children and what is this thing, you are breaking up their families and all of that. I've always said that never ever make a decision based on your emotions. That's why don't make decisions based on your mind. Pretty much if the universe has decided that you are chosen for the twin flame journey, the universe will make everything happen, that it goes smoothly and nicely, and actually nobody gets hurt. Actually, more love comes to the world. We know nowadays that many people marry because of the status, because of having children with someone, because of money, because of security, just because there was no one else out there, let's get married. Or we got married very young and all of that. So here you can argue with me again, listen, but that if you get married, you're married for a lifetime. But I'm trying to tell you here that twin flames doesn't mean exactly divorce. It doesn't mean that you have to break up. That's why you need to do the inner work with yourself to become this love and light. And when you become this love and light, you see this completely differently. You see what is your mission in this world. Yes, some twin flames have a mission together. So now I'm about to tell you that this mission will never ever happen. It will never happen if both of you are not surrendering and getting into the self-love. If you do not love yourself enough from your soul level, so we also have this new age understanding of love is where you go in front of the mirror and you say, oh, I love myself so much, I am so beautiful, I am this and that. That's not self-love. I tell you what is self-love. Everyone can have it differently, but self-love is, first of all, when you speak your truth. When you're no longer hiding behind the scenes and saying, oh, I don't know if it's true or false. No, speak to your truth for your self-love. If you feel that, for example, something is bad for you, you have to be able to say, I'm not feeling good here. I don't want to be here. I will go somewhere else. I'll do something else. Next thing, self-love is exercising. Moving your body, taking care of your body, being like, either you do yoga, you run, whatever you're doing, that your body flows. Next thing is in self-love, what you eat and what you consume. If you eat healthy, you're loving your soul and you're loving yourself. I've spoken about this as well, that my spiritual journey took me to the place where I can no longer eat meat. Again, I'm not the one who's going to say, don't eat meat, meat is bad for you. I'm just saying you will feel what is good for you. And if you feel that you need to have, let's say, more vitamins, you need to have more of this and that, then you need to have it. The next thing is to consume something. If you constantly consume negative news, or if you surround yourself with people who are gossiping, who are trying to be mean to each other, you're consuming that energy. So that's not self-love. You're getting all of that inside of you, and then you're trying to fight with this. Or you're consuming such as all these fast food kind of things, such as, fast food, fast porn. Like, you don't give any pleasure to your body. You're like a robot. Like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. While your body doesn't get anything as a love. Like, if you go to the beach or you go to the forest, you put your feet on the ground and you say, Mother Earth, I'm here, I'm connecting with you. You get such a power from it. But when was the last time you were grounded? You were grounded inside of the Mother Earth, either going to the beach or forest or just in nature. You spend hours behind the computer or hours somewhere else, not with yourself. So how can you even find yourself, your true self, your divine love, if you give nothing to it? Again, I'm not saying those who are listening that don't do that. I know many of you are extremely good. I've seen such a big difference in all of you. Literally, those who have done the course, course with me, within a 1-2 calls, there has been extreme change. So I'm extremely happy that I'll tell them to do something and they do it and they see what starts to happen to them. So this is what the union is about, is to become your higher self, to have this self-love, and you surrender. Now, what do I mean under surrender? Is that you no longer predict the outcome. You just let it go. You're just like, listen, I'm here, I'm doing the best I can, and if you ask me to do that, I'll do it. For example, my surrendering was to start this podcast. I was refusing it for a very long time. It was never part of my plan. I was like, listen, who wants to listen to someone's twin flame journey? And now I feel that if I'm connecting with so many of you, I'm like, wow, you really need my help. You really need my guidance. And that would have been extremely stupid of me to keep that information with myself and just be. So it's all about your spiritual activation. It's nothing to do with a physical being. I keep on, like, if you could do that with a breathwork session, if you have a chance, do the breathwork. There you can feel how you are not your physical body, how you are your soul. And in that soul, you feel something you have never felt before. And now, if we talk about the union as as, how do I say, how to get into the union, like how to get faster there, how to become. I would say that the number one thing is don't think about union. Literally, do not think about it. Don't think about how, when, and what will happen. The union will happen if you take care of yourself. The next thing is that you have to trust and surrender into the divine. I had another day, a client of mine, where we really picked up heart chakra activation. I can also tell you that universe is very smart. When you do not wake up, the universe will make you wake up somehow. That's why many people have had near-death experiences where they go into another world and they discover something that they never believed in before. There are neuroscientists and so on, who are like doctors, like with even Nobel Prize doctors, who are now talking about it because universe have chosen them to, okay, you didn't want to wake up, you didn't want to believe that there is energy, you didn't want to believe that there's more than just what we know today. And so they had these experiences. There's a very good channel, I tried to put it up, I think it's called Near Death Experience, NDA or something like this. Very interesting to listen from the soul's perspective, just to understand that everything is energy. And now when we talk about the union, when you shift your energy, when you do, you shift everything in your life. Energy is everything, and twin flames, that's why when you met your twin flame, you felt this energy. You felt all over your body. Your body was on fire, literally on fire. And like electric shock, actually. I call it more like an electric shock, as for me was like, what is this thing? I don't know this person. My body is like alive from every single angle. The time and space no longer existed. Literally, there was no time and space. And I was so confused. I was just so confused. And I'm just going to tell you the funny fact that we didn't even speak. So how is it possible? Voila. That's why, like I said, have as open mind as possible, because nothing makes sense to your mind, especially when you're being very organized, very analytical, the person who tries to control everything. I was the one who was always in control. I tried to control everyone's outcome until I ran into the point where I was so empty that I just felt like I have to surrender. And like today is the same way, like it's just a good example that our beautiful soul decided that the story was too exposing. And I think the old me would have felt like, oh, I didn't do so well. I didn't know how to control this and this. And like the whole about control. For me, it was more like, well, it was not meant to be. It was not meant to be for people to hear. And it was not meant to be out there right now. And that's all right. It's not meant to be right now. Maybe in a later time, maybe happens 10 years time, but it's not meant to be. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And so I'm really following my guides in that terms that not everything goes as it planned. Not everything is part of you. And do not get attached to everything. Sometimes we need to know how to let go. And when you let go, the new and beautiful things can come in. So that was quite a long one again, but I hope I touched certain subjects here that really resonated with you and you felt like, oh, that was interesting and I like that. Like I said, I have a couple of things. At the end of each podcast, I try to give some light and love in terms of how to get in touch with me. So first of all, if you wish to have a consultation call with me, the first call, the 45 minutes call, is for free. And it's twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. If the website is not yet up, hopefully it is up and you can book it easily and it will automatically do everything, since I've been struggling to get it organized. The next thing is that if you wish to share your story, you can do the same way, twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. Write on the caption, My Twin Flame Journey. Then, My Twin Flame Journey for podcast. Then from there on, the structure should be more or less like this. When did you meet your twin flame? How did you meet your twin flame? Did you have any spiritual signs in prior? And there you can say anything you wish, such as, there was a date, there was this, there was that, there was this animal, there was like anything that you really remember. The more we put into what you remember, the better picture we get it, because the things what you remember and it comes from your soul are kind of like the guidelines. Then the next thing, if you can add, is your birthday and your twin's birthday, date of birth as well, like in that terms, like the year. How many separations you've had, what has been like the pain, like kind of pains you have had all the time during the separation, or you're still having, or things that are happening to you at this moment. And also, are you in touch with your twin flame? How long it's since you last time had a contact together? So if you can put these things down, we're starting to get a number out of your twin flame journey. And when we have a number out of your twin flame journey, we have a guideline what you have to do. Next thing is, of course, the energies. I will pick it up. So the more you could put in a sign language, in a sign world, the better it is. It's all in the link in the description. Next thing is, if you really, really like what I'm doing and you find this useful and you find this helpful, join the Patreon. I'm putting more information out there. Also, we have twice a month free live call. Patreon costs $5.99 a month, I think. And you can join this, and when you support the channel, I can produce more content, since I can leave my other part of the job a little bit on the side and put more effort into healing, into giving the information. And if you join that, like I said, we have twice a month live calls where you join on a Zoom with other souls. We'll talk about it, we share about it. I record this that you can watch it later, but you'll be blurred out in order just for your safety and for your future. So that's the thing. All the links are in the description in case you feel like, oh, I would like to connect with other twin flames, share my story, share my things, and support this channel in that terms, that I can spend and devote more of my time on it and become more organized. As right now, I've been juggling in between two very big projects. One is this Twin Flame Awakening journey, which I absolutely adore and I love, knowing that I'm connected with my soul world now. But I also love my other part of my job a lot. And so I cannot, it's like I have a little bit battle in between. But I'm blessed because you are here and you are listening. So if you found today's episode useful, helpful, I'm really thankful for that you listened, and I really, really hope to see you here for the next episode. Thank you so much and lots of love. Until the next time. You got me so